Once you go black, you ain't going back. No. The Blackboard, that is. Although the other one probably is the case as well. But I don't know. No experience whatsoever, no. But you see, that would have been a different channel. On this channel, I'm talking about the dry white board and how it's blinking useless most of the time because the pens dry up or the board itself becomes stained with the dry white board ink over a period of time and it gets harder and harder to wipe off. So I said, bugger it, I've had enough of dry white boards, yes. I had a tantrum, okay? And I've gone old school, I have. I wanted to get myself a slate, get a drawing slate, so I could draw on it like a blackboard, like they used to in the olden days. But unfortunately, I couldn't lift the thing. Okay, so that was that went to the wall. That was a stupid idea. So I got myself some of this, some Blackboard paint that I did, and it cost about £5 from Action, €5, cheap as chips it is, and it's got a little bit left. And I've done about 10 blackboards about this size. Various people, you know, what have you, friends and family, what have you, with little frames around. But I've also been making them for my workshop, for my note-taking. Blooming handy, I tell you. Now, the thing you've got to remember about them is you need to make sure they're smooth. So a piece of MDF works quite well as well. But I've got the plywood, so I've been using that, offcuts of ply. So, all you have to do, is what I started earlier, is literally paint this stuff on, all right? Now, this particular one's actually going to be going in our kitchen, so we'll make a little oak frame to go around this, to make, try and make it pretty. So the first coat, you just literally apply that all over, as smooth as you possibly can, but we will be sanding it. Yeah, so I just apply it like that, in both directions. Try not to get it all over your bench. I'm not too worried about the edges in this case, unlike these ones, which I've been sort of rounding the edges up and what have you. And they're just like portable ones I just have scattered about, you know. Oh, okay, quick note take, perfect. Worked really well. I don't know why I didn't do it before. Why have we gone so blooming stupid with these dry white pens? And for me, if I ever want to do a demonstration video, they're terrible. Now, I've done videos on this channel using dry white pens before, and they're a nightmare because they're hard to light. So you either got too much light on you because you have to light the background to try and get it white. Otherwise, it's just grey or yellow or whatever. And it's just horrible, absolutely horrible. And then it bounces the audio all over the place. So, you know, I've embraced the old Blackboard again. And I've found it really good. And if you get good quality chalk, I can't remember what it's called now, but there's a particular chalk that isn't very dusty. Let me show you. And they come like little pencils like that, yeah? They're a bit hard, so they do mark it a little bit, but they're really quite good. But to be honest, I'm just using ordinary chalk most of the time because it cleans off really, really easy, you know? And you get all these lovely fancy colours, yeah. So I've got chalk in the house, I've got chalk in the workshop, and I've actually got chalk in the bedroom. With a Blackboard. I have besides. So if I have an idea about, I remember that, I used to do that, that's good. I'll make a note of that, we'll make a video. That's kind of how it works for me, you see. Because my memory's shot, especially since I've been with fibromyalgia, I get a lot of brain fog. And I just need notes. And I need my gear. I need to be able to see my gear, or at the very least have little signs, on the drawers and stuff like that. Really, to tell me what's actually in the drawer. I forget things all the time. Absent memory sort of thing, totally absent. But all I do is once got to that stage, then I'll allow it to dry. Okay, it don't take long. It's just like emulsion. It's like a chalk paint, really. It probably is a chalk paint. Actually, it's probably like that. Oh crikey, what's that called now? And something or other. Oh yeah, that chalk paint you can get, which isn't really good red. But now, the other thing is, you see, you can regenerate them. If they start, this one doesn't even need doing, but let's say, argument's sake, you need to, it's got a bit worn after the amount of times you start exposing some of the, it's actually there a little bit, some of the wood behind. This is just plywood. All you've got to do is grab some wet and dry paper, a bit of water, like so. A bit of wet and dry paper, or one of them Scotch Brightey things I did have here a minute ago, and now I haven't. What have we done with that? Anyway, yeah, where is that? Oh, there's one over here, but I'm not going to use that one because it's a cleaner one. problem is you transfer all the muck. In one of these things, you know, quite similar to the things you clean pipes with before you sold them. Anyway, a bit of wet and dry paper. So this is 1200 wet and dry. And then I just wet and dry it, like so. Making sure I got rid of all the grain as well. So what you do is you're filling in between the grain as well. And you'll know you're doing it because you're getting that, all right? Yeah. So it's just wet and dry. It won't hurt you. It's just chalk paint, it's fine. I don't like pigment, it's mind. It might be toxic. I don't know. I don't think so. So you just wet and dry it because you want it smooth. Otherwise, it's like writing on texture, which just never works out very well. And you just wash that off with some water. You know, you literally just rinse it off. Rinse it on the tap if you like. It doesn't hurt. Done it so many times, it don't hurt at all. And then once that's reasonably dry, just whack another coat on, and you just regenerated it. Revitalised this. You won't need a thick coat. You just need a thin coat. Make sure you're fairly dust free, and just go over it again, and it'll dry in no time. Absolutely ideal. I think every workshop should be having things like blackboards and just give up on these flip and dry white boards. Really, it's just irritating the hell out of me, it is, because they're just they're useless. You know, if you were random note taking, you heard something on the radio and you want to take a note, or you're seeing somebody's video. Oh, that's a really good idea. I need to remember that. And you need to take a note because if you're like me, you're not going to remember. And this is where these are absolutely perfect. Now, once this is dried, even when they're regenerated like this, okay, I don't leave it like that. I'll put it to one side, let it dry, and then give it a light go over with a bit of wet and dry, so I make sure it's really, really smooth, you know, so it's more like that, yeah? And it just works. It just works, you know? And, I've got this one here. I use them all the while. You see, for note taking. It's quite some more writing as well, so it does work, you know? I think there's something that I think sometimes on the journey of trying to move forward, I think we go backwards. It's the same with hand tools, replacing hand tools with power tools such as, electric planers, tar planers and stuff like that, to tune your boards up, even with the surface planer or jointer planer. They do not produce the same kind of finishes you'll get out of one of those. No, they just don't, because the way they work, they're rotary, whereas you'd go linear, and it creates a perfectly smooth finish when you go linear. Now, some people argue about that one, but, I'll argue back. I think I would say you're wrong, just give it a go, It costs no money at all. If you're looking for a dry white board, which can cost a lot of money, and the best ones you get are glass, the glass dry white boards, and they're heavy. You got to shove it on the wall somewhere. These things you can take around with you. If you want to do you're sitting there and having the pina colada, you can jot a few notes down with the dry whiteboard. It's just easy. Because thinking of, you go, why don't you take a note on a piece of paper? It's floppy, isn't it? The board isn't. It's just for random notes. We're not writing an essay. It's absolutely perfect. And yes, you could use your phone and stuff like that. But if you're like me, I need that visual reminder. I really do. I have my tools on display, so I can see them, I know what I've got, and that applies to anything in the workshop. Stuff I use regular, I want them to hand, I want to be reminded what they are and where they are and stuff like that. And that's part because I get a lot of brain fog. And I'm not alone, I'm sure I'm not, especially when you get a bit older and that, your concentration and your memory, it's not as good as it used to be. I used to be sharp as a button, I did. These days, not so much so. So little things like that, just going back to, say nature, ain't quite right, is it? Going back to the olden days. Now, our forefathers used to do things, and quite frankly, how we used to do things, even in playgroup. Well, not want to say school because we had pencils then, but we still. Most kids had a blackboard growing up that they'd scribble on. Remember the little blackboards, little wooden frame around them. That's all they were. A bit of plywood or a bit of hardboard that had been painted black, and you can do the same. And this one here, probably make a video about actually framing this. We're going to be framing this up. Get another couple of coats. One coat would probably be enough, but I might do 2 bins where it's going to go, and place it in the kitchen with a little frame, a little tray to put the chalk in, and it could be pretty cool. I like the idea of going back to how things used to be to a certain degree, if it's sensible to do so. It's not always sensible, and also costly as well. If you're following modern stuff, a good dry white board let's say, for instance, you want a dry white board around 400 by 600, is a reasonable size dry white board. That would cost you, glass one, around 45 to 50 euros for the dry white board, whereas you can make this for at scraps, and a tin of paint that lasts absolutely ages. Anyway, time for me to go. How do you take your notes, Please leave it in the comments down below. But these people, the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel, because then you get one fast video in your pocket every time I upload another video. Crikey, how do I make a really simple video really long? I did well, didn't I? Diddly.